Dance a little. Hello, everyone. Let me get over here and make sure that I have this muted. Welcome to the next segment. And right now we have Jared King TV and Queen Lora TV. How are you guys today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. This is going so well so far, so we're good. So everyone, please make sure you smash that like and share this out. Thank you so much all for being here. I know there's going to be a lot going on for the next 3 days, so I appreciate you coming in as often as you can. So you guys, you both absolutely have amazing channels, and I love seeing you both doing paranormal. So let's get into the heart of this. Let us hear your experiences and the things that you've encountered. And I know, Jared, you said you had some things that you hadn't shared with everybody yet, so we are very interested in hearing all that.
All right. You want to go first?
No, you're going first.
Oh, I'm going first. Right. Okay. Well, first thing is back, as most people know, but the ones who don't, we live in Tennessee. And we used to live in a small town, and we lived on the outskirts, way back in the woods. And a long time ago, it was about 6 years ago, maybe, before we moved from there, a lot of people started noticing strange, like howlings at night. And at the time, I had never heard it. I had heard everybody talk about it, but I'd never heard it myself. Well, I was coming back from the store one night and went and got a bunch of pizzas and came back, and I was getting out. And when I got out, I shut the door and I heard it. Now, this is like 10:30 p.m. And our closest neighbor was probably,
a football field away.
Yeah. And he was an older guy. Him and his wife, and I heard it, and it, like I say, it screamed out, and it curdled my blood. I just froze in my tracks. I wanted to run, but my feet wouldn't listen. And what was really strange about it is the howl. Now, like I said, I grew up back in the woods of Tennessee. I am used to owls, mountain lions, all kinds of stuff. I know these sounds. I had never heard this sound. And this thing, it screamed out, and it was strange, and it was really hard to explain. I really had to sit and think about how I would explain it to someone. And it started out like a wolf's kind of a howl.
Oh.
And then kind of faded over into like a man screaming.
Wow.
And that was, like I said, I just froze. And it screamed one time. And after about a couple of minutes, I finally got my feet to cooperate with me, and I ran into the house. And I got my gun. I went back out with a big old spotlight. I was looking around, and my gun was shaking like Barney Fife, But I was looking around, and there was no tracks. There was no scratches on the trees. There was nothing. And this thing, when it screamed out, you could tell it was, kind of fairly close. I would say maybe 500 yards from the house. And like I said, there was no tracks or anything. And okay, fast forward a couple of weeks, and me and my dad was coming back from my grandma's. And it's just a stretch of road, and there's a lot of, just woods and field and stuff, And in one of the fields, this was around 5-6 p.m. And we see this thing in the field, and it has like a body of a mountain lion, right? I mean, it's like real long, and a tail probably as long as my leg.
Wow.
And ears that come up. I mean, it kind of would remind you of like a Anubis.
Yeah.
And my dad, you know, we just stopped in the middle of the road, and we were just staring at it like, what is that? You know, and most wildlife, you know, even deer, if they're standing still, if you come to a stop or make any sudden noise, they're gone. And Dad blowed the horn and everything, and started, you know, slapping the side of the car or the truck, and you know, he was revving up the engine, and it just turned and looked at us.
Wow. And
then it just turned its head back and just started walking, and we watched it go plumb out of sight. And all right, for maybe a month or two, an elder gentleman down the road, his horses kept being attacked, and I mean, these horses was just getting mutilated. And he went out one night when they was, you know, hollering and everything, and he goes out and he killed one. He shot it, and he called the park rangers and told them, and they came down, and the next morning, and he had it in the bed of his truck and had it covered up. And he went out there and he uncovered it, and they looked at it and told him, said, we're going to take this right over here. We're going to burn it. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
That was strange.
Yeah.
And after that, like I said, it weren't uncommon to hear them, you know, but it was just really, really strange. And the last incident I heard about anything, you know, like similar to that was there's also, you know, there's caves and stuff everywhere. So there was a cave that was close to us, and it was on you know, it's mapped out and everything. A lot of cavers go there, and there's one place you have to rappel to get into the next room. And there was a group of people was going in there, and this guy, they lower him down the rope, and as he's going down, he starts yelling, pull me back up, pull me back up. And they said they pulled him back up and said that he had his headlamp on, and while he was going down, he turned and looked down. And when he turned and looked down, he said that there was a den of them. He said, I'm guessing maybe 10 or 15. And so they was just circling below him. So, like I said, that's the last thing, you know, we moved shortly after that. The next thing with me is same area where we lived at the time. The boys were still fairly young and full of energy all the time. So, and they loved to get out and walk. And they loved, you know, just walking through the woods and stuff. So we would take them out walking trails and things like that all the time. And one incident was right across the road. It led up a big path, led up to a set of power lines. And these power lines, I mean, they went forever. But anyway, the path was pretty good way, so we would walk it. And we was going up through there one day, and we just stopped and looked down, and there was a footprint, a bare footprint right there. I mean, it was just in the mud, kind of, because it had been raining. And that footprint, I kid you not, I probably could have put both of my feet like this in that footprint.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God. And I stuck my finger down there to see how deep it was, and it went all the way up to my knuckle. So whatever it was huge.
Huge. Yeah, definitely. So what do you think it was?
Honestly, up to that point, I had never believed in Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I had heard about it all my life. I have heard people swear up and down they have experienced it. I never believed it. I really didn't. And I thought, it's somebody in a costume or, they're seeing
Right.
gorillas, something, I honestly didn't believe it. But I could not explain that. And I thought and thought and thought. And I was watching Carpetbagger on YouTube. Jacob the Carpetbagger. And he went to a like a celebration night for Sasquatch. And people was talking about, the footprints, casting molds of things like that, and talking about it, and it matched exactly what we saw.
Wow.
So, like I said, and I never heard anything like screams or anything like that was similar to what they say that it, sounds like or anything. But and that's another strange thing too, is that there was, like I said, that whole area was, was kind of muddy, and there was only one footprint, and it was right in the middle of the road going sideways. So whatever it was had one heck of a stride.
Right. Well, I definitely believe in Bigfoot. And I would love for you to get with Tex with those stories too, because he would find that very interesting.
I'll definitely be sure to do that.
Yeah, because that's what he does. He does Bigfoot and all that. So I'm sure they would love to hear your story on their show as well. So after that, did you have any more experiences with what you think was the Bigfoot?
Well, I don't know if it was that, but one time, like I said, a lot of the past we would walk, and just to get out and walk, have something to do in the afternoons. And we kept noticing, we would be, the only people around for miles and miles, especially way back in the woods. And we would notice that there would be things left on the trail that weren't there when we walked in. And one of them was like a little charm to a necklace.
It was a golden, like, walnut charm.
Yeah, in the shape of a walnut. And it was old. I mean, this thing was old. And it was on just a little twig like thing that sticks up out of the ground. And the twig was over into the path where, you was going to see it when you came back through.
Right.
And I picked it up, and I don't know why. But when I picked it up, I just turned to Lora and I said, "Here, this was meant for you."
I put it back. I was scared, so I put it back. We went back the next day, it was gone.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah, it might possibly have been meant for one of you.
And that was just very strange, but other than that, that was about it. But as far as everyone there, the first thing I was talking about, everyone just called them the creatures because nobody really knew what they were. Right. And but as far as all that goes and everything, that's all I got.
That's crazy. And that you say that's all you had, but that's enough. That's
But like I said, I haven't shared that with anybody yet. So I thought this would be a good time to talk about that.
I'm glad you did, because that is interesting. And I've heard a lot of stories about possible Bigfoot sightings up in Tennessee. So definitely could have been what you were encountering.
Absolutely. And I said, because after that, like I said, I started doing more research into it and everything. And yeah, like I said, I do. I believe it.
Yeah.
And it had to be something. and that's the only thing that's explainable, So, I mean, if the shoe fits,
Exactly, literally. That Rican, it was not your ex-wife.
What's up, Rick and my brother? But yeah, like I said, that was just really strange. But like I said, ever since then, yes, I am a firm believer of it.
So it makes me wonder how many times these park rangers actually did come across stuff like this and disposed of or hid. Just yeah. I mean, that probably is a lot more than we think.
Yeah, because he said that when they first looked at it, he said it weren't, like, when someone would first see something like that, kind of startling, he said they just looked at it and then told him, said, we're going to burn it. Don't tell nobody.
Right. Yeah, that definitely sounds like some kind of deal where they're hiding it so it's not scaring people or that does not surprise me one bit.
You're next.
Oh, me. Well, I have a couple of little short ones, I guess. When I was 4 or 5, we lived in this little clapboard house next to a sawmill that was right next to the woods. And Mom and Daddy didn't believe in curtains or window blinds, so all the windows was just wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up, middle of the night. I don't even know what time it was. I probably couldn't even tell time at the time. And I went to the bathroom. And I'm hearing something outside the window. And outside the bathroom window, probably maybe 10 foot away from it, is the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to stand up on the side of the tub to look out the window. And when I do, there's something standing just outside of that tree line that's just huge and just covered in hair, and it's black hair, not brown. And the moon was shining on it in just the right way that I could see its features. Mm-hmm. And its legs was bent the wrong way. And it was just broad, and the shoulders just huge. And it's had a snout out to here, mm-hmm. big ears, and red eyes. Now, at the time, we didn't even have a TV, so there's no way I could have made this up from the television.
Right.
I saw it. It looked at me. It turned around, went back through the woods. I turned around and went and got under my bed.
Mm-hmm.
I told my mom and daddy about it the next morning, and they was like, oh, you're just seeing stuff or you were dreaming. I'm like, well, no, I know I wasn't dreaming because I was up for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
That scared the crap out of me. And I am 100% convinced I saw a werewolf.
Yeah.
There's no other anything else I can say that it was. That's just what it was. And that has led to my extreme fear of open windows at night. I can't do it. Because I'm always terrified that I'm going to see it again, and I don't want to see it again.
I'm gonna show you a picture real quick and see if this is kind of what maybe you saw. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because, and now the snout on this one may not be as long as what you saw, but I'm going to show you anyway. Let me get my camera on and hopefully you can see this good.
Oh, gosh.
Goodness.
That's pretty close.
Okay, so this right here is what Tex saw, and this is what's classified as Dogman. Which is, to me, is almost just like what a werewolf would be.
Right.
In most cases of people seeing a Dogman say that the eyes are red. So yeah, y'all definitely need to get with Tex too, because I bet he could clarify a lot of that stuff for you guys. He's really knowledgeable about that. He's going to actually be on the show later today, talking about his Dogman experience. So, Laura, if you're around, maybe you can listen to his and you'll see if it matches up to what you're saying. Because Dogman and Bigfoot are all kind of in the same.
Right.
I just know I don't want to see it again ever. That was enough for me. And then I have one more story and then I'm done. When I was 19, it was probably about a month after me and him started dating. I was still living at my mom's. And we had talked all hours of the night, and I got ready to go to bed, turned all my lights off, turned my radio on. I laid down there. And it's the middle of winter, like December, January. So it's cold. And starts getting really, really hot in my room. And I can't figure out why, because there's no heater in my room. And so I'm laying there trying to figure out what's going on. I don't want to move. I got to go to work the next day. And all of a sudden, something grabs me by my neck, full force, fingers all the way around and touch all the way back to the backside of my neck. And feels like claws just gripping into the very backside of my neck. And this laugh that I have never heard in my life, it's just the deepest, most guttural laugh I have ever heard in my life, right in my ear, while it's pressing as hard as it can against my neck. I'm freaking all the way out because I don't know what's going on. It's just me and my mom there. She's asleep. I was trying to sleep. I don't know what's going on. So I'm flailing my arms out, trying to smack whatever it is. There's nothing there that I can reach. There's nothing that I can feel around my neck. I finally reach out and turn the light on. And these little like disco ball things that I had hanging from my ceiling, every single one of them, there's about 8 of them, are spinning in different directions. And there's nothing in my room. I called him. I said, get a car. Come and get me. I ain't staying here.
Wow.
I had bruises all around my entire neck and puncture marks in the backside of my neck.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom's house, though, whatever it was that was there, hated me with a passion. I don't know what it was, hated me. It would run down the hallway towards my bedroom. And I got him with this one because I told him all about it and he didn't believe me. I said, come spend the night at my mom's house with me. Okay. I said, sit on the bed and watch. I'll walk around one side of my bed, and when you get to the end, there's the door that would swing open because it didn't have a knob or nothing. It was just a door.
Yeah.
And when I would get towards the end of my bed, you can hear it charging down the hallway.
The footsteps were headed
fast as it could.
Fast.
And I get right directly in front of that door, and it would hit the door, whatever it was, and it would sling open and smack me as hard as it could.
Oh my gosh.
And it was every time I walked past the door.
Yeah, she did. When that happened, I was like,
He would beat on the walls up and down the hallway, smacking hard enough that the pictures would swing.
Wow.
My mom never heard nothing. Nothing. Just me.
I told her, we're going back to my house.
Yeah.
He made me move out of my mom's house. He said, you're not staying there. It's trying to kill you or drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Hurt her bad. And it was definitely, it worked good.
It was constant. If I was there, something was going on.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. They had it out for you.
Yeah, because her mom said, I even asked her mom, and she said she had never heard, seen anything. Taps, knocking, nothing.
Wow.
And she never heard it running down the hall.
She would be sitting in the living room watching TV, and this thing would come charging down the hallway and hit me. I'm like, Mom, do you not hear it? What? Nothing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely.
It made me feel like I was crazy.
I wouldn't have stayed there either.
No, I lived with it for, we moved in there when I was 5 or 6. We moved out of the other house, moved into that one. And I lived there until I was 19, and I dealt with that kind of crap all of those years.
Wow.
It liked to hang in the hallway door. I know this sounds silly, but it would hang from the door frame. Because when I was little, my dad took the door off. That way he could get to me if something happened, you know, whatever. And so it would hang from my door frame and just stare at me. And at the time, it wasn't this big. It's this little gray mass. It had little big, like, goblin head.
Yeah.
Big giant eyes. And it would just hang from the door frame and stare at me. And I'd just lay there, blankets pulled up, and just stare at it. We just stared at each other. But the older I got, the more mean it got. The more, what is
aggressive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Violent, malevolent, I guess.
Evil.
Yeah. It definitely sounds like it. And
Moved to his house. The ghost that he had at his house wanted to play tricks on me and scare me all the time. Lick me in the toes while I was asleep. Scratch on the outside of the bathroom screen while I'm in the bathroom.
My ghost didn't scare me. I was used to my ghosts. I just didn't like strange ghosts.
Well, mine were violent. Yours were mischievous.
Yeah.
They stayed outside for the most part. Mine didn't. They came in.
So you're really lucky that yours didn't follow you.
Yeah.
I am. I think it was tied to the house, and I'll tell you why. In my mom's bedroom, because, you know, it was a pre-owned home. Somebody had lived there before, but we couldn't get a backstory on what had happened. But all the way across the back wall in her bedroom was bullet holes.
Oh, wow.
They hadn't even bothered to cover them up. They wouldn't tell us why there were bullet holes all on that back wall. They wouldn't tell us if somebody had passed away in the home before they bought it.
Wow.
I don't know, but I can tell you this. As soon as my mama moved out of that house, when she moved to Texas, she sold it to the neighbors. They tore it down quick.
Oh, yeah.
It don't even look like there's anything there anymore.
Right.
It's just gone. Gone.
Wow.
I told Mama, I said, I don't want it.
No.
I don't want the house. I'm done with it. I'd go back to visit her. Oh my God. I couldn't stay for more than 25 minutes because it was just heavy. You couldn't cut through it with a knife. It was so heavy in there.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that would be scary anyway, but to not even know what it was, like, that's even scarier. And it only had intent to hurt you. And so, yeah, that would freak me out too, big time.
I guess that's why, for the most part now, because I did deal with that for most of my childhood and stuff, is why I'm not, like, something will happen and it'll take a few minutes for it to register that, hey, that's a ghost. You're supposed to freak out.
Yeah.
Because I'll just be like, oh, hey, wait, you know, you get poked in the butt. There's nobody home. You're looking around like, wait.
I do remember you saying that happened. Oh, what happened? Oh, we froze. Okay, am I froze or they froze? Can y'all tell me? Oh, it was them. There they are. Okay, there you go. Now, I do know that you are very sensitive, Lora. And it's kind of been known because they do, the spirits do tend to focus more on you than they do on Jared. So do you feel like it's because of your sensitivity that's why you get picked on, I guess, more?
That's it makes sense. Because I feel like I can feel them before anybody else is even aware that they're around. And I'm like, there's something going on. He's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, just go out there and see about it before it happens.
Yeah. We went to an abandoned house once, and we was going to film there, kind of do a look around, see if we feel anything.
In Urbex.
Worth an investigation, maybe, I don't know. But we pull up. We was told about this place by a friend, and we pull up. And as soon the driveway was kind of like you had to go around it to even see the house. And as soon as you went around the little circle and she saw the house, she said, "Stop, stop, 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 stop." And I was like, "Okay." I stopped. And when I stopped, she said, "Turn around." She said, "We are not going in that house."
Yeah.
Nope.
She said, "Get us out of here now."
There was something very, very, very bad there. And I could feel it that far away from the house.
Right.
Yeah, and she said something, and the way she put it just made me shiver all over. She said, "There's something there. It knows we're coming, and it's waiting on us."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, we're out."
So that's one good thing about, and I know it doesn't always feel good whenever something like that happens, but Lainey does the same thing. And so whenever she says, "Do not go in there," because I used to not listen to her until bad stuff happened, and now I listen. Like she's my little ghost detector, my little radar. Right. Nope, ding, 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 don't go in there. So I try to listen to her as much as possible now because of that. And sensitivities are good to have whenever you are coming up on a place you don't know nothing about, especially.
Right. Yeah, it absolutely is 100%. Now, that's like I said.
Go ahead.
Most of the time now, like I said, if I'm doing a paranormal, anything, she's with me.
Right.
Whether I want to be or not.
Exactly. Let's go to the store. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to check out this place.
Oh, okay. All right. He likes to take me to graveyards because I'll get out and I will walk in the direction that I'm told to walk. And so he'll just follow me. Yeah. Like, where are we going? I'm like, I don't know yet. Give me a minute.
So have you noticed going out and doing these graveyards, have y'all had any trouble with bringing anything home, or have you been pretty lucky with that?
I think we brought something home from the one over here in town that we like to go to.
Yeah, because we went there once, and that's it. And when we came back, that day, nothing, everything was the same. Well, that evening, the later in the afternoon it got, the heavier it got. Just a sense of something was there. And whatever it was, I mean, I ran, it wasn't bad. I think he was just more curious.
Right.
Because you would hear, papers rattle, stuff, just moving just slightly.
On my side of the bed.
And and things like that. But after a while, I told Lora, I said, "All right, that's it." Because it would wake us up all during the night. And I told Lora, I said, "That's it. I can't do it no more." So the next day I got up. I told her, I said, "All right, come on. Let's go. We're going back." And I went back over there. Walked around for a minute. I said, "You guys stay here." I said, "I'm sorry, but you cannot come back with me. You have to stay here."
Yeah.
And I walked around for a few more minutes and got back in the car, said goodbye, said nothing else could follow me either, and came back home, and then knock on wood, everything's fine. So I've got now to where I always try to, say, nothing's allowed to attach itself or come home, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Now I've noticed, Lora is sensitive, so of course she picks up a lot of things, but I've noticed, and even on our shows, your name gets said a lot. Laura's does too, but your name in different forms, King Jared, Jared King, Jared King, gets said a lot. Why do you think that is?
I honestly have no idea. Really. And it was really weird because I kept hearing, me and, other YouTubers, creators, we would hear it, on their channels. And even there was a channel that had no idea I even existed. I had no idea they even existed. They got my name. Yeah. And Sandra Pink she contacted me. She said, I was watching these guys and I heard your name. You got to check this out. So I went over and checked them out. Now, you know, we're good buddies and stuff. But like I said, they had no idea I existed and they got
Yeah.
it. And my buddy Rick from Black Rose Spirited, you know, he's like a medium clairvoyant kind of thing. And he told me, he said that he thinks that I am a spiritual messenger. And I said, a what? I had no idea what he's talking about. And he started laughing and he said, it's a spiritual messenger. He said something, he said, they like if a spirit is still here because they have a message for someone.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you are the one to get them that message. And I said, I don't know how to do that, Rick. And he said, well, he said, there's, you know, ways of doing it. He said, but he said, you know, he said, you got to stay safe yourself.
Right.
You know, so he said, he's going to try to get with me and everything, kind of, you know, guide me through a few things and give me some crystals and some other stuff for my own safety.
Exactly.
And things like that. He said, because you don't want to just go into it full force, you know, and everything. He said, there are steps you need to take to doing that. So,
and
I'm
that's
going to try to work on that.
I always say that everyone is some form of the empath or has some sort of a gift. It's just whether you decide to open it up or how you decide to use it or whatever. So that's awesome to hear. And that very well could be what's happening there. They're just trying to get your attention and they're going to do it no matter what.
Right.
That does make a lot of sense.
And I don't know. Like I said, I've had a lot of people tell me that I have, you know, I'm just kind of happy, you know, just happy, you know, guy and everything. And he said that's why.
Yeah.
He said that aura, that energy is what attracts.
Yeah.
He said a spirit can sense, you know, people's spirits.
Right.
You know, he said they can sense if you're a good person, if you're a bad person, you know, whatever. You know, he said they can tell what's true in your heart. So, you know, he said, you know, but people with, you know, just, you know, big auras and personalities and energy and stuff and everything, you know, he said they attract to that because
we'll give them just a second to reboot. Yes, Jenny, she is very beautiful. We lost them. They'll be back. She is beautiful inside and out. Guys, while we're waiting on them to come back up, make sure you're hitting that like and sharing this out. There they are. Hello.
Hello, we're back. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No worries.
Ever since those storms came through our internet's been wacky.
Oh, believe me, I understand. Okay, so I definitely agree with him about your spirit because you guys both do have like really free, loving spirits, and I'm glad that he's explained it to you that way because it definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he kind of did to me too, you know, and everything. He said, and he said something else too that, you know, I never really paid much attention to. You know, he said even back when I was younger, growing up, I never felt alone.
Right.
I always felt like I was around a lot of people, even when I wasn't. You know, there was just never that sense of, you know, I'm by myself. You know.
Wow, that yeah.
I was like,
that makes sense then.
so much sense.
It definitely sounds like you've definitely been preparing for this for a long time then.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So,
and it's a good thing you have somebody that knows what they're talking about with that kind of stuff, to help guide you through. Because a lot of people do jump into stuff before they're ready, and then they make a mess.
yeah.
You don't want to make a mess in the spirit world, that's for sure.
Yeah, he told me, he said all it takes is one little wrong step,
Yeah.
I liked when he called you better. I was better than what I was calling you. I was calling you the big beacon.
Yeah.
Well,
it was like a beacon for the ghosts. And
that makes sense. I say that all the time, that empaths are lighthouses for spirits. Like as soon as they gain their abilities or their gifts or anything like that, the spirits are like, oh, look, there she is, or there he is, let's go. I always say that I agree that you are like a beacon. So that is a good name for it, Lora.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you later.
Sandra Pink Videos wants to know, are we going to see any more paranormal videos soon on your channel?
Absolutely. I've actually got three paranormal videos. I just haven't had time to edit.
Well, we're definitely ready to see them. And y'all are so respectful. Absolutely love how when you guys go into a cemetery, and people, you need to watch this and take note. When they go into a cemetery, before they even start their investigation, they clean up the cemetery. They pick up trash. They pick up flour, and that we go into these places for free. It's a cemetery, of course. So yeah, do your diligent duty and kind of help keep those areas clean so it doesn't look so bad on people like us that go in and do these videos. That definitely helps, because people give us bad names all the time.
Oh yeah,
trashing these places. So I really respect the fact that you guys do that.
Thank you.
We do
it because that's their final resting place. That's their home for the rest of eternity.
All right.
I don't want them to have to sleep under a bunch of garbage and
Yeah, like that one we went to. I mean, there was tree limbs. I mean, good sized tree limbs that had fell out of a tree, and I mean, you could tell that it had been that way for a while, and nobody cleaned it up. Nobody picked up anything like that. So I said, I just stopped recording everything, I went over. And I'm, dragging limbs out everywhere. I was covered in what you can see in the video. I was covered in dirt. My hands were dirty, but actually I didn't care.
Yeah. We carry garbage bags and rubber gloves with us because you wouldn't believe at the stuff that we find in graveyards.
Oh yeah.
And that's so sad.
So.
Is that my nephew's?
Okay. All right. Sorry. He had to step out for a moment.
That's all right.
The stuff that we find in graveyards, it's so disrespectful and a little disgusting.
Right.
And I'm not going to just walk by and be like, oh, look, just leave it there. I didn't leave the mess, but I'm not, I didn't make the mess, but I'm not going to leave it either.
Exactly.
And maybe it may not be enough to change the world, but it's at least enough to change that little piece of the world. For the time being.
Exactly. And I for one appreciate y'all doing that. And I have found myself doing it a little more now as well because of that. So more people see that, the more people are going to be doing it. So it's awesome.
Yay. Start a movement.
Jenny wants to see some more Cletus videos. I'm sure those are coming up soon.
Yeah, old Cletus, he's already got some plans out for some more.
Just have any paranormal plans?
Yeah, actually, there's one house that's not far from us. I'm gonna try to get into. It's called the Black House, and it's from early 1800s. I mean, you can pay to take a tour through it. But I'm going to see about, getting a private tour. Like I said, maybe being able to do an investigation for a little while.
That's awesome. I would love to see Cletus doing a investigation. I
Yeah,
love
we did do one of those.
get freaked out. I love that. But seeing Cletus get freaked out, that's going to be a whole nother thing. That's
whole new level scared.
yeah, that's a viral video right there. So what has been your favorite place to investigate so far that y'all have done?
I don't know. How about you?
My favorite place is the graveyard over here. It's there's a lot going on there. I can't pinpoint everything because there's so much activity that goes on there. But it's where I feel the most. So I like that one the best.
Yeah.
The creepiest is Old Stone Fort.
Yes. Now the old stone fort down there, like I said, we've done a couple of videos there. That's where we also went with Exploring the Unseen and Jesse Paranormal Adventures. We went there a couple of times. That place, it's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, it is. It's beautiful, and I mean, even in the dead of winter, it's pretty there. But that place has got some vibes to it that, oh my God. I mean, it's like one section of it you can go to and you feel kind of comfortable, you know, not that bad. And you can go 15 feet and it will be completely different. I mean, like a completely different town, you know. I mean, and then other places you'll feel like you're being stared at, watched. Other places you just simply you do not feel welcome.
The first time we went there, we were trying to take one of the trails to go around through there, but it had rain and it was so muddy we couldn't get down through there. So we just found like this little tiny path that went back up through the woods a little bit to go back over to the other side. So like, hey, we're just going to cut through here in place of going through all that mud. And we get about halfway into this little section of trees, and right over here to the right of us, we hear something just scream out, and it was a pretty deep male's voice. I can't say what it said, but it screamed it out. Now, that being said, we were the only ones there. There was nobody else in that section of the park at all. And it was just 15 feet away from us, screamed it. Bad word at us.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, hey, you know what? It's time to go.
Yeah.
Because when they start coming through that loud, that close, and that angry, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Understood.
Not staying around for all that.
No. And that's smart, because a lot of times we think we're going to get better evidence and stuff if we get something like that, but sometimes we get a little more than what we bargained for.
Yeah, I don't need no ghost slapping.
No.
I'm good. I'm good.
Anybody have any questions for Jared or Laura? And I'm glad y'all shared those stories.
By the way, hi everybody in the chat. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that sub button. Hit the like button.
Hit the shrub button. The shrub button.
Yes.
Just,
everything they just said. Y'all do it. But I'm glad you did share those stories, and I am going to pass it along to Tex. And so y'all be sure and check out his show later today. I believe he's at 7 or 8.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what time he comes on, but it's later on in the evening. But yeah, I think you'll definitely find it interesting, the things that he says about Dogman too, because it kind of sounds similar. So I would, and Bigfoot, he would probably love to have y'all on his show as well, because that's right up his alley.
Sounds good.
Yes, they do have awesome shirts. Y'all can show them off.
You first.
There you go. Lora TV.
What?
How awesome is that?
Very cool.
We have to thank the amazing Miss Amy for helping us get these done.
Oh, anything for y'all. You guys are awesome.
Same here. Speaking of which,
Oh, you gonna show her?
Yeah.
You gonna like it?
Oh, yay. I do like it. That is awesome.
Show her the back. Ta-da!
I love that. Yes. So, speaking of which, are you going to be making them to sell?
I really don't know. I hadn't thought about it. A couple of people's asked me about that, and I was like, yeah, I'll make you one. But as far as like making them sell and things, I never really thought about it.
Well, we'll definitely be showing it off a lot, and so when you do decide to, we will be what do you call it? Your infomercials.
Right on.
That's all
If you
right,
recommend.
Joey. But guys, I really appreciate y'all coming on and sharing this with us. And I hope y'all tune in the rest of the day. And they're going to leave me right here. Queen Laura, does Angus and James have? Oh, okay. If she comes back up, I'll ask real quick. There they are.
Back again.
Did have a question right here at the end, and it's a good question. They want to know if Angus or Jimmy has any gifts. Have y'all?
Jim senses them, but doesn't want to talk about it or acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even bring it up with him. He'll shut you down quick.
Right.
And Angus is extremely sensitive.
Yes.
And they will actually like put the hands on him. Like he's come to me with scratches and stuff before, and he's like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "I don't really know what you can do except for just tell it to leave you alone. Period. You don't want to be touched." I said, "That's the only thing I know to do. Say a prayer." And because as far as getting them to leave you alone forever, I don't know how to do that.
Right. Well, it sounds like his lovely aunties will have to send him some stuff to wear and keep with him to kind of keep that from happening anymore. Spirits better leave our nephews alone.
So he says that he'll come home from school with scratches in places you can't get a scratch at school.
Right.
In places that he can't even reach on his own body. And I'm like, "What have you been doing at school?" And he's like, "Mama, I literally do nothing at school." And I'm like, "Well, I know that, but."
I know a lot of times Angus, you can tell when he's around something, because we go a lot of different places and stuff, film, things like that. And there's been more than one occasion, he'll be just talking, happy go lucky, everything, and all of a sudden he
does what I do. He checks out.
Yeah.
And if you'll watch the video that he put up where we went to Dole Cemetery, if you'll pay attention to Angus in the background, he's shut down. He's just, and he was like that all the way up until we got home, and he come in my room with me, and me and him had to sit and talk about it, because it's like he had to get it out of him before he could feel better. So
right. Yeah. We'll definitely get him something sent to wear and stuff, especially when y'all go investigate. We'll send some stuff for all of you to wear when you're out doing that stuff, because we know how sensitive you all are, and now we know Jared is very sensitive as well.
He's super sensitive.
Yeah. But you guys definitely not only make it fun to watch you guys, but you do respect the spirits and your surroundings and everything else. So we appreciate that very much. And everybody, please go check out those links that we're putting in and get their channels. You definitely will not regret it. So thank you guys so much for coming up. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having us.
Love all you guys.
Love y'all.
Queen Laura, thank you guys. And guys, be sure and be watching. Next few minutes, we'll have another one starting. You don't want to miss them. Up next, we have Michigander Man with the celebrity grave sites. So we'll see you soon. Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
You guys.